Greetings, everyone, and welcome to my seminar presentation. My name is Farhad Ibn Ali, and I am going to present on software measurement and metrics today. So, the tool that I have chosen for measuring software requirements is Techify, which is another version of Prefix. And in this presentation, we will be going over the overview. Plus, we have installation, and we will set up the tool. Third is the state of art. Following with that, we will discuss and discover the scope of the tool and the popularity and purpose. And following with those, we will be discussing the major features of the application and advantages and disadvantages of the tool, its application and benefits. And then we will be referring to the references from where we have been getting our sources. And then finally, we will move to the demo part. Okay, so number one, the overview. Prefix is an open source metrics tool. It is originally developed by Techify, which was founded in 2012. It is a performance monitoring and profiling tool, plus the IT teams and developers actually use it to diagnose and resolve issues. It provides real-time capturing and analysis of the data metrics, and it also provides the real-time code profiling and tracing, also known as the developer's sidekick. Now, in this software measurements and its effectiveness, there are three main categories where software metrics are usually divided into. The number one is the process metrics, number two is the product metrics, and number three is the project metrics. Now, what is process metrics? Process metrics measure the effectiveness and efficiency of the development process, and these metrics help to identify areas of improvement in the software development process. Examples of process metrics include defect density, code coverage, cycle time, and lead time. Following with this, we have the product metrics. Product metrics actually measure the characteristic of the software product itself. These metrics help to determine quality of the software product. Now, the examples of these product metrics include the functionality, the extent to which the software product meets its functional requirements, reliability, maintainability, and usability. When we speak about the project metrics measure the progress and status of the software development project. These metrics help to track the project performance against its plan. So examples of project metrics includes the cost variance, the schedule variance, the effort variance, and defect removal efficiency, which overall affects the project itself. Now we will install and set up the Techify prefix environment in our machine. And to do this, we will visit the uh, link provided in the slide where we will be downloading and setting up the environment. Okay, guys. So for the installation part, we have jumped into our Google browser. So what we need to do is we need to type in the URL, which is um, techify.com/prefix. And then from this, we will navigate down below and download this particular setup for prefix, which is the developer's sidekick. And if you are using Mac, you will download from the Mac link. If you're using Linux, then you can use the Linux link. For us, I'll be using Windows machine, so I'll be downloading from the Windows button. So when you will click the button, you will be directed to this page where you have to type in your first name, last name, and email in order to um, get the download started. So for this, I'll be using this particular email and name, and let's submit it. As you can see, the page says thank you for downloading. Okay, now this we will actually click save. So as you can see, it is downloading, and this page says thank you for downloading Prefix for Windows. So your download will start automatically. Okay. So now what I will do is that I will pause this particular download just because I already have my setup, right? I already have my setup, which you can see it is already downloaded. And what we will do is that we will simply click on this file, and you will get this particular dialog box saying if you want to allow this app to make changes. So just click yes, and it will direct you to the this installation window where you have to click I agree. And then okay, in this panel we will have you have to download for based on your preference. So as for us, we are using .NET, so we will only download the .NET or install the .NET profiler, leaving out the Java or PHP profilers. If you are using Java or PHP, then you can actually check them out as well and install them. So after selecting the checkbox, you need to click next, and from here you will be seeing your destination folder, whereby you can just click on browse and change a particular folder. I will keep it as default, and then we will simply click on install. Now since I have already installed it, I won't reinstall it again, so I will cancel this out. But after you click install, there will be no more windows appearing. It will simply install the application and you are ready to use. So as we discussed earlier in one of the advantages in our presentation, that Prefix is very easy to install. So within a few clicks, this application has been installed. Moving on to the state of art. Now this is a tool which actually provides a high reliability performance metric. So maintaining the state of art of this particular tool is very important. So the first thing is that the latest version of this tool is 5.10.0.0, and in terms of security, right, it provides the secure communication. It also provides authentication and access control. So Prefix actually employs uh, the access control mechanisms that only authorized users can access the sensitive data. Plus, it also compromises with the compliance of industry standards, which means that all the policies and the rules and regulations followed by the nation or a specific organization, Prefix or Stackify actually keep and adheres to that. And then we have the regular security audits. So Prefix logs all the user activity and generates the alert for any suspicious and unauthorized access attempts. So these allows administrators to quickly identify and address any security issues that are available. Next is its support. So Prefix actually supports provides its users with documentation and knowledge base. Plus, it also gives out email and phone support, and there is a large community of for prefix which gives support in terms of its state of art maintenance. Now, the techniques that actually prefix use for keeping up and maintaining with its state of art is number one, which is the continuous improvement. Secondly, it's user feedback. Whatever feedback the users give, they use it as a technique to improve and maintain the product. There is industry collaboration with the prefix and Stackify's own department, and it also improves their enhances their way of quality assurance testing to provide major security updates. Next, we have the scope, talking about the languages that prefix covers. It covers .NET and .NET Core, Python, JavaScript, Java, Ruby, and PHP. And the operating system that this particular tool runs on is Windows, Mac, and Linux. It also supports AWS, Microsoft Azure, Kubernetes, and Google Cloud Platforms. These cloud platforms are very common by integrating them into the tool. And basically, Prefix is a desktop application which is compatible, scalable, cost effective, and provides a good user experience. In terms of mobile, Stackify Prefix is not the tool that we use to measure profile and mobile applications, but thus it does uh, have an alternative application called Stackify Retrace, which actually uh, provides the metrics for testing the software for mobile applications. Moving on to the popularity and purpose, the popularity is based on companies. So 52%, more than 52% companies are utilizing Techify prefix to measure their software performance and other relevant metrics. Now, this tool is most widely used under DevOps, and it is also used under web development as well. Plus, the countries that most widely use this tool is the US and UK. There are three plus million users for this tool, and the rating provided by the PR Spot users for this particular tool is 4.1 over 5 stars. The purpose of this tool is to actually profile the code in real time, trace the exceptions and errors, monitor performance metrics, and visualize the code execution with identifying and troubleshooting issues for method calls, exceptions, and SQL queries. Now let's move on to the features, right? So there are tons of features that actually Prefix provides its users. Number one is its user-friendly interface. Now, Stackify Prefix has actually a user-friendly interface that provides developers with a comprehensive view of their application's performance. The tool offers easy to use navigation and intuitive visuals as well, making it easy to identify and diagnose issues in real time. Number two is the integration. So Stackify Prefix integrates seamlessly with a variety of popular programming languages and platforms, including .NET, Java, PHP, and Node.js. Now, not only these, but then integrations do happen with the IDEs itself. So the IDE that we will be integrating in our demo will be VS Code for .NET, and it also does integrate with IDEs such as IntelliJ, NetBeans, and Eclipse. So this actually allows developers to monitor and debug the applications across a wide range of environments. Number three is the prefix cross application tracing. So Stackify prefix allows developers to trace application requests across multiple services and applications. Now, this feature helps to identify performance bottlenecks and diagnose issues that may be occurring across multiple layers of the application stack. Fourth, the number four, fourth focus is on performance metric. So Stackify prefix provides its developers with real-time performance metrics such as response time, throughput, error rates, and much more. These metrics actually allow the developers to quickly identify and address issues that are impacting application performance. Number five is the code profiling. This is actually based on its code base, and Techify Prefix offers code profiling capabilities that allow its developers to identify slow or inefficient code. Right, basically the code which runs the optimization level low. So this feature helps to pinpoint actually the root cause of performance issues and optimize application performance. And lastly, but not the last, it's visual representation. So Techify prefix developers with easy to read visual representations of application performance data. So actually it provides a visual representation on a dashboard which allows its developers and users to visually see what and how the application is performing. So these visuals, such as charts and graphs, um, allow developers to quickly identify the trends and patterns of their application performance. Moreover, moving on to its advantages and disadvantages, um, its advantages include easy installation. Now, this is one of the most effective and the best ways we could say that Techify prefix allows its users to easily install the application for use. There is no mess up configuration, and we will actually see this when we actually install the setup and have a demo on it. Second is its user-friendly interface. It provides a bunch of features in a very easy, navigative manner so that developers can actually adapt to the system. It is also easy to use and it provides comprehensive metrics, which actually means that Stackify Prefix allows its users to test the application metrics based on comprehensive data, which is its CPU storage, SQL queries, it could be methods and functions, their exceptions and traces. So it provides a bunch of comprehensive metrics that we can actually look into our software system. It also provides collaborative troubleshooting methods, and it is a multi-platform support tool, right? So as said earlier that it is compatible with .NET, .NET Core, Ruby, and Node.js, and more other frameworks. Not limited to these. Plus, integration is another feature. Integration with the IDEs that we actually use. Now, moving on to the disadvantages, it has limited integration. Right now, the reason for limited integration is because Stackify prefix does not actually support the IDEs which are obsolete or very less in use, right? One of the simple examples could be Dev C++, right? And Microsoft Visual Studio, which was 2010, the version was 2010 and below. So there's limited integration with the tools that are no longer being used or very less used in this modern times. And it also does not provide the mobile application metrics, right? As discussed earlier, that this tool prefix only allows the metrics testing for web applications and if you want to test mobile applications, there is a simpler version of this, which is Techify Retrieve, which allows you to test your mobile application metrics as well. Now, this actually, as Techify Prefix is also very resource intensive. It uses a lot of resources since it is a cloud-based tool, and there is a bit of learning curve as well, because the beginners who actually begin to use Techify Prefix will have to learn a lot before they start using the tool, because it has a lot of comprehensive data to store. And once they know it, then it becomes easy for use. Now there is privacy concerns with the Stackify prefix as well, because we will be connecting our application with them, and this is actually a cloud-based platform. Plus, the privacy concern is that if an organization is connecting to Stackify prefix tool, there is a violation of ownership, which means that is the application owned by the the developers itself, or is it owned by Prefix? So privacy concerns is the major component and disadvantage of this. Plus, there is platform dependencies, as discussed earlier, that it depends on multiple IDEs and languages, and it does not actually, there is limited platform dependencies as well, such as it does not support PHP and other programming languages such as Fortran, which is an old code base. And moving on to the applications and benefits now. So Stackify Prefix allows you allows capacity planning. So what is capacity planning? Stackify provides real-time performance metrics that can help developers anticipate the capacity needs and plan for future growth. So by monitoring key performance indicators such as the response time, the throughput, and error rate, developers can identify potential bottlenecks and plan accordingly. Secondly, its application is vast in the root cause analysis, whereby Stackify can help developers quickly identify the root causes and issues in their application by providing comprehensive visibility into application performance, and then developers actually can pinpoint the exact line of code, which is the LOC or process, that is actually causing issues, and then they can take steps to further resolve them. Thirdly is the DevOps automation. So Stackify integrates the with DevOps seamlessly with the range of DevOps tools that it provides, allowing developers to automate common tasks such as deployment, testing, and monitoring. So this actually helps to streamline the development process and improve overall efficiency of the application. Fourth is the application optimization itself, which is based on the code base. So Stackify provides developers with detailed performance metrics and code profiling capabilities, allowing them to optimize the applications for maximum performance. So by identifying these and addressing these areas of code that are actually slow and inefficient, developers can significantly improve application performance. And the fifth application is its continuous improvement. So the real-time monitoring and debugging allow developers to continuously monitor and improve the application. So by using this particular tool, which is Techify Prefix, to identify and address issues as they arise. So developers can ensure that their application remains reliable and efficient and secure over time. Some of the benefits of this tool is that its reusability and flexibility with other code bases, and simple integration and setup for installation. Plus, it provides improved testing and accuracy of the metric. It also saves big amount and large amounts of time and cost savings as well. allowing the industries to use these and improve their applications in terms of monitoring and debugging. The, the last benefit is its greater metrics coverage. So as discussed earlier, that it provides comprehensive ways and comprehensive methods to actually provide the coverage. So there is a lot of coverage that actually Techify Prefix allows its developers and users to run through the metrics of software. Now, these were the references and sources actually where we used to gain our information from, and simply now we will be moving on to the demo to actually install and place in how actually we use this particular tool for our software metrics and measurement. Now, if you have any questions, you can post it down in the comment section. And I hope you have learned something. And it was very wonderful to share this particular time and information with you guys. Thank you. So let's open up Prefix. Okay, so Prefix. Now we have opened up Prefix as well. So we have very easily and a very simple manner able to set the environment up, and we are able to run Prefix. What basically Prefix mean is, as the name suggests, prefix, right? Fixing something earlier, which is prefix. So before we put our code into production or before we deploy our applications, we can fix it before we actually deploy our application. So this particular tool will allow us to actually run few tests. For example, allow to trace the web request, allow SQL databases, tracing databases as well, database queries to see if there are any errors in our application or which query runs at a slow pace. So as you can see the screen, right? These features are there since we are using there are free and premium version for this. So we are going to use the free version, whereby these are the available features for the free version. These are the basic features of the application which we can use, and I will be demonstrating them to you. Next up is, after we have installed the prefix tool, we have to open up our project just to do a little bit of configuration. So I have opened up VS Code and I am in the root folder of my application, which is the Car Plus Web. So what we need to do is we need to create a JSON file. In that JSON file, we will be having some JavaScript object notation configured just so that Prefix is able to pick and detect this project and be able to will be able to run some metrics over it. So to create a JSON file, we need to go into our project folder, which is the root folder, right? We right click on that and we'll simply go to add and click new item. In this new item, you will select this JavaScript, which is the JSON configuration file. If you want, you can rename it. I had renamed it to JSON file. So since I have already created, you can also you can create it yourself. So if we scroll down from this solution explorer, you will see I have created this JSON file which is named as Techify.json. So if we open this, you will see this little configuration page where it states the app name, environment name, and capture all exceptions. Now this configuration is totally based on the user itself or the developer itself, because uh, these two things are very important, which is the app name. So you have to be very careful, otherwise Prefix will not pick the project and show it up in the tool. So you have to name it as the project is named, which is the Car Care Plus Web, and I have named it as Car Care Plus Web. The environment, since I'm running Prefix and it is running on my local machine, Prefix is actually built to run on local machines for developers to make their work easier. So the environment name is my environment. If you're using your local machine, then the name will be my environment. And capture all exceptions. This is for all the exceptions and errors, setting it true so that Prefix can actually um, classify and detect all the exceptions and errors that the application makes. There are few more configurations that we can make, but I am going to stick to these three configurations. So once you have created this techify.json file, we will simply save it. We will save the file, and then what we will do is we will simply run our project to see if Prefix is able to pick that up. It does take a lot of time. Patience is the key. Okay, so we have our application, the .NET application up and running. So this is prefix tool, right? This is our prefix tool. Let's just navigate through the user interface. So we have a little dashboard kind of a stuff at the very top, which shows the actual time actually web requests are made, right? So this is the request where every request is captured and shown, and then these are the transactions where each web request has its certain transactions that occurs at a limited space and time. So at this moment we are currently able to see the home.index web request, right? Since we have just started running the application, right? We have just started running the application. That's the first web request that Prefix actually captures, right? We will see when I will run and use the application more to see if more web requests are captured or not. So transactions, as earlier, it is just a further extension to request. Logs are here. Okay, so for this, we are currently running a free version, so we don't have any logs. The log feature is not available at the moment. That's why it says no logs found. If you look at the errors tab, okay, so on the first um, debugging of the application, we are able to see these particular errors that have popped up, right? There is a database tab as well where you can view all, you can see when the application was executed, these were the databases that were actually executed in parallel with the application as well. If you look at cache, then there are no cache requests found as well, since this is a premium feature. When you talk about web external, that is also a premium feature. Queuing is also a premium feature, but the summary tab, I guess, yes, it does work. And here it will show you the top requests that were made. So at the moment, we have only one request since the application just started, and we have slowest request as well. So all the requests which execute and takes time to execute actually are shown in this particular tab. And then we have the top transactions happening, the slow transactions happening. Further scrolling down, we have showing the top dependencies of the application with the slow dependencies. And then likewise for top queries and the slowest queries that happen, which take the most time to execute. Okay, so since we have actually navigated the interface, now let's move on to and perform some action, right? So as for now, as we see, there's only one web request. Now let's go to our application and try to run, right? And let's go to this application and try to log in. So at the moment, I was logged in as the admin. So if we open up prefix, since we logged off, you are able to see in the screen that this was a post method, post 302, which says account logo. If you click on this particular link, then it shows more detailed information about that particular web request, right? The time it took, right? 72 milliseconds. And if we scroll below, it shows the transaction which happened and it traces the request as well. In this particular request trace, we will be able to see all the headers, which is the HTML file name, domain name, cache control, the connection, right? It currently says closed because it is a non-persistent connection. If it was a persistent connection, then it would have said it would have displayed open, right? So this is a basic content length. So this is a basic HTML information provided from this particular web request. Let's move back to the application and perform some more action. Let's log in. Let's log in as, let's say, an admin again. Okay. Let's go to manage users. Let's say we manage customer. Let's say I'm going to search customer. Let's perform some searches. So I guess there's only two people with this name. So let's search for customer 11. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to manage policies. It is taking a bit of time. Okay. So, okay. So since we have gone through some of the functionalities of the application, let's move on to prefix and see what has prefix actually captured and recorded for us. Okay. So as you can see, there are some more web requests that have been made and captured by this particular application. Right. Now let's see this customer index. Right. So since we know it, what happens is I can also, as a developer, what we are using this tool for is to identify errors of the application. So as you will see on this side of the screen, right, you will see this particular bug, which indicates that there is an error in the application, right? And if you look at this means that there is issues with the database queries. So let's say if we click on this particular error and let's navigate what the error is in the um, account login web request. Okay. Okay. So as in this, you're able to see the errors. So there is this request made, right? There is this middleware which is running and followed by this. So we have this which is providing some error in the application, as you can see, right? Um, yep. So this is actually a controller action in Boca. So this is picking up this controller method. this is picking up this particular controller method, and it is saying that there is Microsoft.C#.runtime binder.runtime binder exception. So this is picking up an exception from the application. If you scroll down below, you will see the error it picks it from, and this particular transaction took this amount of time in running. So if we look at the let's say a database, you can also, it shows the dependencies, right? Obviously, and plus we have this, we will actually have this application running, and it will show you the exact SQL statement that we have implemented in the application, right? You can view all these, right, SQL queries, and from this you are able to identify, right, which query was running slow, right? As compared to this one, if we see, so this particular query is highlighted as orange, so it is quite inefficient, so we'll have to make it fast, right? It picks up the error and shows it to you. Plus there are a lot of other rich features, as you can see on this top uh, panel, which shows each request made and the time it took. For this, we are using a free version, and you can upgrade it to the premium if you want to. Plus, if you look at the summary tab now, you can see some requests, some more requests have been there, right? These were the slowest requests, right, that were made and executed by the application. If you look at based on the transaction, these were the slow transactions, these were the top transactions which occurred, these were the requests, and these are actually showing the database dependencies and what each database transaction actually holds and what time it does it take to run. And I guess this is a very good tool for developers if you want to fix um, and optimize your code, optimize the way the application functions before it goes into production. Then this is a wonderful tool to try out for managing your software metrics. And at the end, I'd like to summarize that this is all that we have been discussed, right? We have discussed the application and benefits that this particular tool have, and also following with the disadvantages that this particular application holds, right? Limited integration, there's platform dependencies as well, right? Privacy concerns that we have discussed earlier. And as you can see, for a beginner, it is quite difficult to navigate, but it is a user-friendly interface. And if once you become familiar with this, it becomes super simple to run your application and test your metrics. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions or queries, you can post it down on the comment section. Thank you very much.
And that brings us to the end of our presentation seminar. We hope you have found value in our presentation. Thank you for watching.